you doing, baby? Happy Friday. And today on Coffee and Conversation with your girl, Shakenya. When you get a minute, go to that YouTube channel, Shakenya, and hit subscribe. Look at some of the videos. If you see any one of them that you like, just hit share. Yeah, I'm sorry for the noise. I did not know that Friday is the day that they cut the grass at the park, right? And homegirl right here, she see I'm doing something right, so she coming even closer, right? Because it don't even look like it needs to be cut over here, but that's another story, right? That's a whole nother video, right? So, and no, I'm not saying stop for me. Who am I, right? They doing their job. All I'm saying is, I came here because it looked like she was finished right here, right? So to keep doubling back makes me think something different. So it's a long one. I'm gonna try to go as fast as I can. Cause you might be having to speed it up and sum it up for the sake of the video. But I have a lot of stuff written down, so sometimes y'all hear me pausing. That's why. So I apologize, but I'm writing another book. Coffee and Conversation is gonna be another book. So it's detailed here, but I'm trying to sum it up for y'all. I hear he coming back. Damn. I would say I'm gonna just pack up and leave, but I got a lot of stuff to pack up. My bike right there. I rode the bike up here. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do the best I can over the line more. We are raising our daughters, part 35. No, we not. We at part 36. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. And then I put 36. So I can, yep, I put 36. My bad. We are raising our daughters, part 36. So we have an 11-year-old and we have a 15-year-old. And we are at the beginning of the end. So I've been trying to keep this in order. So if you tuned in yesterday, then you know exactly where we are. And if you didn't, you might be a little lost in the sauce, but I can't backtrack for you today. I can't. So just know this is the beginning to the end. So I can safely say seeds have been planted, right? From my side and the dad's side. Because remember, I'm planting seeds too, right? Because I'm growing my daughters up in my likeness, so I'm raising them in my likeness. So everything that's me, my qualities, my characteristics, I'm planting those, right? That's why I act a certain way. That's why I do certain things in front of them. That's why I don't do certain things in front of them. That's the reason why I don't curse really in front of them when they were little. That's why I didn't smoke weed or smoke cigarettes around them when they were coming up. That's why I didn't drink alcohol to the excess to where I'm drunk, right? I'm still apologizing to them for one day that I got so drunk and threw up. I know you can only drink one Long Island from paper. There's no need for two, right? And I learned that lesson one day, right? But do you know I'm still apologizing to them for that? I know. Because you be drunk all the time, right? That's not nice and that's not funny. Yeah, you be drunk all the time, so they see you pass out all the time. They see you throwing up all the time. No, they see me do it once. Oh, and I feel such a way. I still feel such a way about it. I still feel such a way about it, right? So yeah, I had to apologize. So yeah, so it's certain things I do and don't do as a result of it's certain things I'm teaching them. Right? Because I want them to be knowledgeable about certain things. It's a reason why I'm talking to them about business. It's a reason why I'm talking to them about credit. It's a reason why I'm talking to them about entrepreneurship. It was a reason why I had them working with me in the cleaning company. It was a reason for all that. Those are seeds that I was planting, right? It's a reason why I had mock interviews with the oldest. It's a reason why I talk to them every day about their day so they can decompress. It was a reason for me trying to help them find solutions to their problems. It was a reason for that. So those are the seeds that I was planting, right? But you got to keep in mind, Dad was planting seeds as well. So far, we know that hate has been introduced as a seed planted, right? So that's been introduced into our family. Jealousy has been introduced into our family. Envy has been introduced into our family. Those are not qualities or characteristics that they were raised with. Why? Because that's not me. I was taught at a young age not to be jealous of anybody, right? I can have whatever they have, right? I can do whatever they do. I was taught early not to be envious of people, right? And I was taught early that hate is such a strong word. Taught early. So as a result of, I didn't introduce that to my children. So seeds have been planted, right? Me and Dad should have been planting the same seeds with that baby. Everything I told you I did, Dad should have been on board with it, or he should have been doing the same thing. Yeah. So just because we're in separate households, that don't mean things have to change, right? You still have to operate as if you guys are still living together. That's why it's important for the same rules to be at each house. If y'all had rules at this house, it's important to have rules at the other house. If the child has chores at mama house, it's important that the child has chores at dad house, if not the same chores, right? Because depending on the dynamics and how your household set up, the child might, it might be other children there. So the child might not be responsible for certain, but long as the child knows that they have to do something, right? But that has to be across the board, right? So, yeah, some of the same things should have been going on, right? Our plan should have been the same. Yeah. Meaning the same plan we had when we were married, it should have been the same. No alterations, no changes. I'm still moving in the same way, right? Nothing should have been different. Yeah. Nothing should have changed from the marriage. I'm doing everything that I was doing in the plan. And no, I don't, when I say plan, no, it ain't no blueprint on the wall with the kids' names and all that. No, it's not a plan where I got the mission statement and the vision statement and now I'm going into the demographic. It was though, right? But yeah, so when I say the plan is just basically things that we talked about and discussed that we pretty much wanted for the baby. And when I say the baby, I say all the kids, right? But just because me and him were in a union, the baby, right? So the plans, the things that we want to do to ensure that our children have a good quality of life. That's all the plan is. So yeah, when I say the plan, that's basically all it is. Just everything that we had planned on doing to ensure that they had a good quality of life. So if we were married still, everything that I'm doing would be. Oh yeah, I would still be doing everything that I'm doing now. So what had to change? Why did I have to be eliminated? Why did I have to be taken out? Why was that the best thing for the child? Right? Because you already see what I've done up until now. And all I did was get better with time. Right? So you got to understand, why would a father deny his child that opportunity to be able to learn from me? Right? Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. Fix it. So all the methods should have been the same. Yeah. Of whatever it is we were trying to instill, it should have been the same. So yeah, the blueprint, no, just to ensure the children have a better quality of life than what we had. I was the blueprint. Because I was raising them in my likeness. So I was the blueprint. Right? Why wouldn't they want to be like me? Why wouldn't my daughters want to be like me? Yeah, they used to look at me in such a way when I get dressed up and when I'm around other people in certain events, they will follow me. Their eyes would follow me. The way I shake hands with people, the way people address me, the way I address people, like they will watch me, right? When I put my makeup on, when I get dressed, they admired me. They adored me, right? That shouldn't change. Yeah, that shouldn't have changed. If there's no way they should be looking at me, looking down at me. There's no way I should be devalued. There's no way they shouldn't still see me as that person. that did all of those things, right? So yes, our plan should have been the same. Our morals and values should have been aligned, me and Dad. So if our morals and values are aligned, jealousy should never be introduced into my family. Envy should never be introduced to my family. Hate should never have been introduced in my family, because if our values and morals are aligned, we don't do that. So yeah, so why wouldn't the girls want to be like me, and why Dad wouldn't want her to be like me? Because if he taking her out of my life, that means he don't want her to be like me. Yeah, he don't want her to be like me. He don't want her to pick up none of my habits, none of my characteristics, none of my traits. He want me gone out of her life. So that means I was a bad example. Oh, if a father goes that far, that means mom was a bad example. Oh, I got to get, if mom is still alive. Because, you know, dads don't really step up until something happens in most cases. Unless it's a mutual agreement to where it's better for the baby, for the children to stay with dad during the week and get them back and forth or whatever, because I've ran across parents that do that, if that's the best thing for the baby. But in most cases, the child is usually with mom. Mom usually carrying the heavy load. Dad usually come in on the weekend or come in when needed, and everybody's fine with that, right? Never is a dad trying to take a child from a mom that's not on drugs and doesn't have mental issues, right? So that's setting, just him doing that is setting the scene. Him doing that is setting a narrative. Him doing that is leaving people up to think about or wonder or ponder, where is mom, right? And then not only for her to live with him, but for mom not to be in the picture at all. That's a message. Yeah, that's a narrative. That's up for interpretation, right? And then never speaking of mom, right? Remember when I told you a friend of mine ran up on her at work and she act like she ain't even answer her? She said, how's your mom? She said, oh, my dad is fine. Just a smart aleck, right? A smart ass. My baby wasn't like that. As you can see here in the book, she wasn't like that. So why would she be like that towards me? What could I have possibly done to cause her to have that such an attitude with me? Well, we were getting to that. We started it off yesterday. We're starting to get into it now. We're starting to see how it happened and why, right? I'm sorry, y'all. I got to get my stretch on. I've been lifting stuff and I just have not been exercising. I haven't stretched. Yeah, problems one day I fought, right? So yeah, so why wouldn't dad want her to be like me? So for me to have one baby daddy that never gave me any problems, right? Never gave me any problems, never questioned what I was doing, actually was proud of me being who I am and raising my daughter the way that I was, right? Have shared that with me on many different occasions, right? So for one dad to feel that way, and for another dad fix it, Jesus, to use manipulation tips, to fight me, to lie, and go so far to rip her out my life, it don't make sense. Yeah. Why wouldn't me and dad be on the same page, so much so to where there's actually a place for me being her mother? It was a place for me all them years she was living with me, right? So her living with him, why does that equal me being cut out? Why we couldn't keep that same balance and that same routine that we had so that I'm there, right? Not just a place sitter. I'm actually there in her life, playing an active, vital role in her life as a mother, right? I couldn't have been doing that bad. Because if I was, the other dad would have had something to say. Yeah, the other dad would have said something a long time ago. His family would have said something a long time ago. My family would have pulled my coattail and said something to me a long time ago, right? Because I raised 5 kids. So my mom's side would have said something to me, and my dad's side definitely would have pulled my coattail as well, right? As well. I know my aunt on my dad's side probably would have been the first, because she kind of moved in by her being the eldest, like my mom sort of kind of, you know what I mean? She kind of took that lead at that point, right? But all my aunts and everybody kind of poured into me. So somebody would have said something to me if I was doing that poorly with the children, and they wouldn't have been progressing as they were. They wouldn't have been progressing as they were. Because we all were progressing. We all were moving in a good direction, right? Normally, dads don't remove a child from a positive environment. Normally, dads don't remove a child from an environment where they're thriving. Dads don't do that. So for that dad to do that, it's sending a message, and it's interpreting that the environment was not good. It's interpreting that she was around bad influences. It's interpreting that she was not doing well there. It's interpreting that I was not doing what I was supposed to do. That's what dad did when he took her off. So for those of you that don't feel like that was nothing, so what? She was just staying with her dad. So what? She don't talk to her mama and her mama's side of the family. So what? That's normal. Who's normalizing that, right? Who's normalizing? What child is benefiting from not having a mother in their life? You name me one child that's benefiting from not having the love and nurturing and guidance of a mother in their life, especially a little girl. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it so the rip don't make sense. Me and dad on the same page, me having a place in her life. Why weren't our morals and values aligned? How could everything be so different to where she had to make a choice? Because the only time a child is forced to make a choice is if something is really bad. That parent is not good for them. They have to leave them alone. They have to cut them off. Why was my child forced to make a choice? That's abuse. If you force a child to have to choose between a mother and a father, and there is no abuse or neglect, that's abuse. So if you didn't know, now you know. Because that means you had to force this child to disobey. You have to force this child to be disrespectful. You have to force this child not to love, not to have no care and concern. You have to force this child to do that if there's no abuse or neglect and a parent is doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah. You actually leaving that child at a disadvantage without their mother or father in their life. Yeah. So forced to have to make a choice. She doing everything in my book. You got to keep in mind, this book came out in 2009. We're in 2014 in the book. She's doing everything in this book. And you say, how could that be? Well, because I wrote the book as a child growing up, and then I have journal entries. So I actually have me going through the divorce process in this book. I actually have episodes where the mama is overstepping her boundaries. I actually have when me and the dad is actually fighting in this book. I have that in this book, right? So as me writing it, as the stories take place and as they happen, yeah, fix it, Jesus, fix it. She's doing everything that I talked about in my book. How could there be no place for me if she's doing everything that I narrated in my book that I wrote? My name on here. That's my name. That's my picture up top. These are all my pictures on the front, right? So this is my daughter that I'm raising in my likeness, and she's doing everything that I wrote about in the book, but there's no place for me? Come on now. Something ain't right with that. That's why it was so much damage done to us. That's why it's so much psychological damage done, and that's why we are dysfunctional as a family right now. I wrote about dysfunction in the book so we don't repeat them, but yet and still we are dysfunctional right now, right? Yeah. So, yeah. To be forced to have to make a choice. She's doing everything in my book. Why would I not fit in? Why wouldn't what I have to give be wanted? Right? My teaching, my advice, right? My suggestion as a mother, right? Why wouldn't I matter to her? Oh my God. Why wouldn't my life matter? Why wouldn't the things that I'm doing in my life matter to her, right? Y'all see everything that I'm doing up until now. Yeah. And you see what I was doing at the time. Yeah. Me writing about it in this segment. So you see exactly what was going on in real time. Yeah. So yeah, this is why so much damage was caused with my family. This is why we're suffering, because everything was unnecessary. Yeah. It was no reason. Yeah. So there's no reason really for us to be struggling. There's no reason for us to be suffering. Yeah. There's no reason for relationships to be estranged. Yeah. I couldn't make our story line up if I tried. Yeah, if I had to write about what we're going through right now, like I wrote about my life, I couldn't make it up. It has no sense, no relevance to it, nothing, no merit, nothing. But yet and still, it holds a lot of weight. Because I ain't talked to my baby in 6 years. So whatever he did or whatever it is, I can't just sweep it away because it worked. It worked, yeah. My daughter might be mentally unstable as a result of, but all those techniques that he used, all the brainwashing, all the gaslighting, all of it worked. Yep. So there's so much damage and we're suffering, struggling, relationships are strained, couldn't make the story line up. Yep. Oh my goodness. I feel it, boy. I feel it. My stomach. I'm trying to tighten my stomach up. Yeah, so to purposely do anything to cause a dysfunction or for your child to experience one. I know, follow along with me. To purposely, right, cause your child to experience or be exposed to a mental disorder, right? That's abuse. And let me tell you how you can purposely do it. If I tell you that the absence of a mother or a father in a child's life can cause your child to suffer from anxiety, I'm telling you this. And you can look it up if you don't believe me, right? A child growing up without a mother or a father in their life, it's a good chance can cause anxiety, right? So if you know this, right? If you know this, and you purposely not calling mom or dad, you purposely not taking that baby over to visit mom and dad, you purposely changing numbers and moving, making it hard for mom and dad to be a part of that child's life, you purposely doing this? Yeah. You using the manipulation tips that we talked about. Now that you know that it causes anxiety, would you stop doing it? Would you do better in trying to build that relationship with that child and that parent? Yeah. Now, if you're in a situation where the parent chooses not to be in that child's life, so there's an absence still, now that you know there's a good chance that your child can suffer anxiety, are you taking that child to therapy to get help? Will you now? So this is where it's abuse in my case. Because my child's father didn't care if it caused anxiety or not. Knowing everything that I was doing, everything that I was providing, everything that I was instilling, knowing all of that, he still chose to remove her from that environment. Where she was thriving, where she was where she should be, and she was doing everything she was supposed to do. He removed her from that environment on purpose, intentionally, right? So this is why it's abuse, because he didn't care. Yeah. He didn't remove her for abuse or neglect. He removed her because I ended the marriage. Let that sit in for a minute. He didn't remove her for abuse or neglect. He removed her because I ended the marriage. Meaning I chose. I chose me. Right? I did what was best for me and my kids. Right? I left an abusive relationship. He was physically and mentally abusive in the marriage. Right? All this I should be applauded for. Yeah. The fact that I was strong enough to do it. Yeah, I shouldn't be demonized for it. Meaning I shouldn't be punished for it. Yeah. So me losing my family, trashing my plan, the baby being pulled out, everybody being, that's my punishment. Yeah. So now that we know seeds are planted, jealousy, envy, hate, this is being introduced by Dad. Yeah. And no, I'm not blaming him for everything. I'm just telling you what we talked about yesterday. And if we going off of what we talked about yesterday and we dissecting the conversation that was had with me and the baby, if we dissecting some of the things that had happened and taken place, it reverts back to Dad and his mother. It reverts back to that. What she said to me the other day, that didn't come from nobody on my mama's side. That didn't come from nobody on my dad's side. Ain't none of my aunties or cousins said nothing to her for her to say what she said to me yesterday. Go look at the video yesterday if you want to know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that came from her having a conversation with Dad and the mother or the mother. Yeah, that's where it came from, right? So if we broke everything down, yeah, that reverted back to Dad. So through that conversation, jealousy, envy, and hate was introduced. That came from Dad and or his mother and or the TT and or whoever else is related to him in his camp, right? So that means somebody is having an inappropriate relationship with my baby. Somebody's having an inappropriate conversation with my baby. Yeah. Talking to a child about parenting concerns is inappropriate. So if you one of those people that's talking to a kid, oh, I hate when your mama do that. I hate when your daddy do that. I hate when they do this and that and the third. They always doing this. You are having an inappropriate conversation with a child because that should be voiced to the mama or the daddy. So if you having concerns with that baby and somebody not doing what they're supposed to do, yeah, you're supposed to be talking to that individual. You ain't supposed to be talking to the kid. What can the kid do about it? The child can't do nothing but get upset and get mad because now you done got them worked up in a tizzy and got them feeling away now from saying what you said about this other parent because they can't say nothing to you about talking bad about their mama or their daddy to their face. They can't get mad at you for doing that. Yeah, because I used to fight people that talked about my mama, even if it was the truth. Yeah, you call my mama a crackhead, I'm probably going to beat you up. And she smoked crack, right? That's how defensive you are usually about your mama, right? So for my baby not to be able to be just as defensive about me when they were talking about me and talking bad about me, instead getting her to join in and talk about me too, baby, all to hell. Anybody that's on board and with that plan and did that and contributed and guilty by association, all y'all. Yep. I know, ain't that terrible? That's the problem. It ain't the white man no more. Well, it is now because the shit's starting back up. But for the fix it, Jesus is a Christian show. Yeah, but that's a family breakdown at the hands of another family member. I'm showing you the breakdown of a family by the hands of another family member. It wasn't no white man in this. It wasn't no white man that deferred the dreams that we had. It wasn't no white man that trashed the plan. It wasn't no white man that broke up a family and took a daughter out of the life of her mother and a whole fucking family. It was a black man that did that. A black man orchestrated that. Right? So that's the problem. Yeah, that's the broken home right there. She's in a broken home right now. So the broken home is not when you guys break up and divorce. It's when you guys can't reconnect and start that new relationship that's needed for y'all to co-parent and take care of that baby together. It's not broken if y'all come back together, but it's broken. Ours is broken. She's growing up in a broken home. So somebody's having an inappropriate relationship, inappropriate conversations, talking to a child about parenting concerns. Right? We also know that dad is allowing her to be disrespectful. So now we see why the disrespect comes in that where I'm concerned, because dad was allowing her. So whatever I was teaching her about respecting herself, respecting people, respecting her mother and her father, whatever I'm teaching her about being respectful, dad is counteracting that by allowing her to talk to him any kind of way and allowing her to holler at him and be disrespectful as a way to win favor, as a way to be in her good grace, right? When I tell you yesterday, you'll be surprised how many parents allow their children to do these things just so they can be the better parent, just so they can be well liked, just so they can be better liked, right? Yeah, so by him allowing her to do that, me teaching respect, how to respect people, especially mom and dad, that's canceling that out. That's canceling that out. So now it's an option. If she chooses to respect you, or should she, or she got to, what is the conditions of that? What are the terms and conditions to earn respect? Yeah. Because up until now, I had done so much. If I didn't do nothing else, I would have earned a lifetime subscription of respect. Yeah, just being mom. Because that's how that goes. You carry a baby for 9 months and give birth. Oh, yeah. Mom, it is. It's a certain entitlement that comes with that. Yeah. That's why people be going crazy on Mother's Day. That's why mothers get the red carpet and the royal treatment, right? Nobody should be competing with that. Nobody should have been competing with that. Right? Nobody should have been trying to take my place for that. Nobody should have been trying to step on my toes for that. Nobody should be overstepping their boundaries for that. That's my title. Right? Fix it, Jesus. Yeah. So right now, the games have begun and the fight has started. Now, this is a fight and a beef that I had no knowledge of, right? But it's begun now. It started. All from that conversation that I had with the baby the day before. Yeah, so now we know what's really going on, right? I'm still kind of dumbfounded to it, though. I'm still not really picking up on cues. I'm nipping it in the bud. Like when she hollered at him and I checked her, I nipped that in the bud. So I felt like the respect should have been back in place. And, you know, I had no idea that he was still allowing it. So that means it wasn't back in place. That means she's just not doing it in front of me. But it was still being done, right? So, yeah. Damn. Right? So, yeah, so the fight down started. Yeah. I'm living in my perfect world still with the kids. Yep, because we're not having no issues for real. Yep. Even with that little hiccup with her. Yeah, I nipped that in the bud. I checked her for hollering, right? And then not only did I check her for hollering, but that day that she said what she said, I broke down to her what I do as a mother, why I do what I do, right? Why I say no when I say no. Oh, I took the time to do that, right? So I thought that was nipped in the bud, right? So I didn't think to continue an investigation, open a case, take notes, thinking somebody working against me or somebody trying to turn my baby against me. Lying, using me. I'm not thinking none of this because it's not affecting us yet. Yeah, she's still respecting me. She's still loving me. She's still loving on her siblings. She's still doing what I ask. She's still getting good grades. She's not showing none of the signs that a child will show if they are being, I'm going to say tampered with. And I'm not saying physically, but tampered with mentally. Yeah. I'm not reprogramming her when I pick her up, meaning that she's doing what she's supposed to do in my house. Because, you know, that started later. But as of right now, age 11, she's not doing that. So when I pick her up, she come right home, do what she's supposed to do. She's not shutting down on me, so I don't have to pry her for information. How was your day? Our car ride conversations is still going with ease. So all I can say is seeds were planted, but they're not growing yet. They're not growing yet because I'm not noticing anything, right? So as of right now, I have an 11-year-old that's doing well, right? Because we're in 2014 with our segment. no disorders, no addictions, no childhood traumas. Overall happy. Okay? Still doing good in school, still got good grades, still mannerable, no behavioral issues at 11. We got a 15-year-old, good grades, no issues, no behavioral issues, no disorders, no addictions, no childhood trauma, overall happy kid, right? My son, 23 at the time. Yep. No police contact. No disorders. No addictions. Yep. Father to his children. On his own. He's actually, at this time, I think, living in the house that I bought for rental property. So he's paying rent there. Yeah. My little brother Jay, 25 at the time. Right? No childhood trauma. Yeah. No more police contact. Yeah. Father to his children. On his own. Right? Me, I have my degree by this time. Yeah. I'm working on the youth program. I think I was working at Matrix Head Start at this time as a family advocate. Yeah. It was either Matrix Head Start or Orchard Children's Services at this time. I got to go back and look. But either one of them, yeah, because by me having a bachelor's degree, I was pretty much able to do those type of jobs, right? So, family service worker, probably at Matrix. I finished writing my book, so I'm actually an author. Children are proud of me, right? So they proud of me, seeing me graduate. Like, think about that. My children watching me walk across the stage. My children watching when we lost the house, watching me fix on a new house and put us in it. Like, me writing a book, me starting a youth program. Those are things that you would think a father would be rallying behind, right? You think those are things that a dad would be saying, you should be just like your mama. Your mama is a go-getter. Your mama is, oh my God, look at her. She's doing this, that, and she don't let nothing stop her, right? She do what she says she gonna do. She said she was gonna write a book, and God darn it, she wrote one. She said she was gonna start a youth program because she was tired of it not being any prevention programs out here for us, our children of color. The only thing they do is lock them up in jail. So she created Attitude Adjustment, right? Your mother is remarkable, right? Those are the conversations that they should have been having with my baby, right? Oh my God, the fact that she took care of my father. She didn't have to do that. She could have put him out, right? Those are the conversations they should be having with my daughter, right? Not what I'm not doing, not what they tired of, not what they hate, right? So at this time, I'm starting the cleaning company. So this 2014, I'm starting the cleaning company up. I haven't gotten any contracts yet, but I have registered with the state, and I'm probably looking for my insurance at this time. Right? So, yeah, haven't gotten any contracts yet. We're not cleaning yet, but definitely it's part of the plan because the cleaning company is going to be the vehicle that I use to teach my children about entrepreneurship, right? And then the money that we accumulate from the cleaning company is going to be the money that we're going to use for the seed money for the children to be able to start their own businesses, right? Because by this time, my son is cooking and playing in the kitchen, right? I don't know if this is his passion yet, but I do know that he's playing in the kitchen. He's had a couple cooking jobs by now, I believe, right? First one being at Little Caesars. Ain't that something, right? So, yeah, I think the cooking bug is probably biting him, but it ain't. It's buzzing around him. Let's just say that. Jay probably working odd jobs right now. Being an entrepreneur, it didn't really start biting him until we actually started doing the cleaning. Like, after I actually got the cleaning company started, and we're going into these buildings and I'm turning keys and pushing alarms, I think that's when it's set in with them that they can do this. If they have a business in mind, they can actually put their business down on paper and bring it to life, right? All because I told them that I was going to start a cleaning company. Now we're turning keys to these big buildings and these schools. So it's a reality now, right? So I'm going to leave it right there. We have a 10th grader and we have a 6th grader. I'm going to keep them there for a minute. Yeah, I'm going to keep them there for a minute when we dive in Monday, because a couple things happen after that. Yeah, I know, it was always that dad. We didn't have no problems before then. I had raised 5 kids, right? We didn't have no problems. All right, y'all. I'm out. Hey, Brother Dion. Hey, Terry. Mwah.